Okay, so somebody told us good luck. Hello, everyone. My name is Dennis. You're right now on the Real Deal podcast. We came up with this name maybe this morning, maybe a few days before. And here, real estate agents will interview other real estate agents, and here we will discuss different topics related to our industry. Today is a privilege for me to be a host of this podcast, and I'm even more privileged to have a such guest over here and pick his brain on some questions. Please meet Mr. Zoheb. Zoheb, I know Zoheb for many years, and I'm sure you will get a lot of useful information from today's episode. Zoheb, can you please introduce yourself from your real estate career part? Like, for how long are you in the industry? And let's start from this.
So I've been doing this for quite some time. Been in the market since probably early 2005, 2006.
2005, 2006?
In the crazy days, yeah.
Whoa, bro, there are a lot of things to discuss today.
Saw that crazy time. Also went into the rental market when everything went on a standstill, when you're talking about the global economic crisis.
Yep.
Did that phase and moved into the resale market again after that, because that was what was picking up. And then eventually 2017, 2018 onwards, moved back into the off-plan market, focusing mainly on my investor clientele. And I think that's what I've been doing so far, just managing their portfolios, taking care of their properties, so on and so forth.
I have pretty much similar enter to the off-plan market, but yeah, we'll come back to this later on. I'm sure a lot of guys joined this podcast because they want to hear some of the tips and tricks and your opinion about social media and content marketing, because you're doing an incredible job.
Thank you.
This is something outstanding, and I know it wasn't always like that.
It wasn't.
Yeah, and it will be good to discuss it. But for this segment of the interview regarding the social media and content marketing, first of all, I want to ask you, do you have your favorite platform that you use to attract leads?
I don't think there's any such thing as a favorite platform. Sometimes some platforms work better than the others, and sometimes your content resonates with a certain audience on a platform. So there's no way that I can pinpoint and say that, oh, LinkedIn worked for me, Instagram worked for me, or TikTok worked for me, or I don't know, Snapchat worked for me. But I make it a point to put my content by myself on every single platform. The reason for that is you never know what may connect with someone.
Okay, let's give an advice to the agent who just starting. Yeah, he needs to pick. If you have to pick one, which one will it be?
Again,
the first one. Let's put it first one.
Since someone's starting fresh, I think try to target Instagram, because it's a little more easier to work with. The audience is not as tough as they are on TikTok.
Audience on TikTok is tougher?
Audience on TikTok is tougher because they have an attention span that you can grab on in a matter of 3 seconds. So if your video does not have the right hook, people are going to swipe up.
Mm-hmm.
But Instagram sends your content to people that are more of your followers. This is what I've kind of understood. And TikTok sends your content to none of your followers initially.
Mm-hmm.
So the standing that you have of, let's say, 100,000 followers or 1 million followers, that is great. It does reach them eventually. But I think TikTok is more of an outreach platform compared to Instagram. So TikTok sends it out to a random audience to begin with. And if they like what you're seeing or what they're seeing, then there's more chances that it'll reach your audience as well. So
is it yours or mine?
I think it's mine. Can I?
Real estate agents. Let me be sure that mine is as well.
It is on silent, but it's still vibrating, so I will try.
Okay, so Instagram. Good. Another question again for somebody who's not that active on the social media. Would you advise to the agent to invest his time? You and me know that it's not only time and money as well, but let's put only time. Let's say he's filming himself in their social media in order to generate more business.
Yes, very strongly. but not valuable time. You got to take out time when you're sitting free and when you don't have clients to deal with. Not completely take your time out and just do social media all the time. Because eventually you will get clients that you'll have to cater to as well. So if you have a lead funnel that's coming into you and you're not taking care of that and just working on social, then it's not going to work. You're going to have to create the time. You're going to have to make time for social. Like you can do it after working hours, maybe a time where people are not interested in answering your phones, say 9 p.m. onwards or 8 p.m. onwards or whenever it is. It is important, and I see it being the way forward for a lot of people. I mean, I personally generate a lot of business from there. And whoever speaks to me, I tell them strictly, yes, use social media as one of your sources to generate interest.
As a new agent, would it be the main source or not?
Of course not.
What would you advise for the new agents to pay more attention and time to? I agree with you. I just want to hear
No,
your
for sure. For the newer agents, I think it's very important that first off, I know a lot of new agents get carried away by agencies telling them whatever it is that they want to hear in order for them to join them and hopefully bring them business. But a lot of new agents I see struggling in the market because they get carried away by someone, either a friend or someone who wanted to set up an agency. They join them and it doesn't go in the same direction. And I think that's where they lose out. So they need to first find a company that will support them, training as well as lead or marketing, and then they should use that as a second platform. I started a lot earlier. I started probably back in 2018 in terms of creating content. So I was early in the game. That is why I believe I have a slightly upper hand compared to the other brokers. But Nokia isn't Nokia anymore, right? Today Apple's taken over. So there is always a possibility that someone else can come and break the barrier and surpass somebody else. But yes, it is important to first find a company that will support you and give you the training as a new broker, and then use social media to feed this funnel.
Yeah, absolutely agree, and we will come back to the companies and support from the companies.
Mm-hmm.
If you will continue our topic on the social media, you said you need to arrange the time in order to like not valuable time.
Mm-hmm.
Agents can always be busy. We always have somebody to call, always have somebody to do the follow-up, and we don't really have time. And I know that content creation takes lots of time. Can you explain how do you set up your content creation time management?
I'm horrible at that. But like I said, man, I know like you rightfully said, content creation does take a lot of time. It takes up at least a couple of hours every single day.
So you spend every single day, you dedicate?
No, I try to do it in such a manner where I take out 2 to 3 hours every week, or maybe 4 hours every week. And I shoot enough pieces of content that will work for the rest of the week.
Walk us through this process. Like you agreed with your guy, we meet to film it. By the time you already have scripts, you already know what you're going to film, or you come and you like kind of improvise?
I keep some ideas in my mind. I try to brainstorm with my team. And and based on that, we try and shoot content, but I try to keep it that, okay, I know the launches of 1, 2, and 3 projects are coming up next week. So I need to have content that can cater to this. Besides that, what kind of content do I like to shoot? I like to shoot funny content. I like to shoot a bit of serious content. I like to give some information. I like to talk shit about something or the other here and there. So I try to keep those 5-7 points in my mind and shoot just enough content to cover me for the week at least.
Mm-hmm.
So this way, my entire week, I can focus on my work.
Got it.
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, but I just doubt that 4 hours is enough to create that much content as you do per week.
I think once you get the hang of it, it's much more easier to come up with.
And
content.
depends a lot on the team as well.
Plus, I think a lot of people stress on, oh, this does not look good. Let's shoot it again. Let's shoot it again. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah, this is one of the main insights that you guys need to take. It's like nobody really cares. When I look at my video, like fuck, I'm like, what is this?
What was I doing here?
This, that. Oh, I just said such bullshit there. Like, and then I thought, okay, if my guy edited it and if he sent it to me, he thinks that it's okay. Like, okay, let it be there. So yeah, we should put our ego like somewhere aside.
Because the audience is so large. You will probably never satisfy everyone. That's how huge the audience is. You can never satisfy everyone. There will always be someone who will come and jab at you and be like, oh, you shouldn't have said this. Oh, who are you to say that? But if you are going to keep all these people's opinions in mind, you'll never have content to put up.
Yeah. Bro, what is the main difference between Zoheb, who is like sitting right now in front of me in terms of the social media mindset, and Zoheb like 2 years ago? I'm not using longer time period because a lot of things changed. I want to ask you, what did you change in your mindset related to the social media, maybe some activities and stuff that helped you to improve your social media game?
I was shooting earlier with Asad in
Okay.
terms of long form content.
Yep.
We would do a lot, try to build a brand, try to build that, oh, this is the lifestyle of the image of the real estate broker in Dubai, etc., etc.
You were shooting for YouTube?
I was initially shooting for YouTube.
Okay.
Then we were cutting clips out of that and posting to Instagram
Okay.
as posts. Reels was not existing at that time.
Yep.
And then right after that came the whole TikTok and the Reels lifestyle that just jumped into the market, I think early 2020, 2021. My team from K9, the two boys, Fahad and Majdi, I always hats off to them. They're the ones who approached me and they said, hey, why don't you do short form content on TikTok? Now, originally, I've always had that, yes, social media is something. But even me at that moment, I was like, this is a platform for kids to dance on. Why the fuck am I going to talk about real estate on here? Now, my wife had a similar mindset 3 years ago or 4 years ago for Instagram. She'd be like, why are you shooting content for Instagram? People come here to watch pictures of food and get jealous of other couples on holiday.
And girls. So.
And yeah, and girls. So I kind of took a risk. I listened to these guys and I was like, you know what? Let me set a budget for about 6 months that I'm willing to give it a shot and never look back.
Okay, so you shifted to the short
Form content.
short
Yeah?
form content, and this is what, like you said, like put you on top. Yeah. You talk about the budget. I know with whom you're working. I know it's not cheap. Actually, it's expensive. And you have, as I understood, two teams right now. Somebody who is filming for you short form, and Asad
That's
is helping you
correct.
with the long form.
That's correct.
Can you tell how much do you pay for the content creation?
I could, but I don't think it would be fair on my part to give out the fees that I pay my team, because bear in mind, with Asad, I've been since 2018.
Okay, you have some.
So I have that kind of maybe favoritism or loyalty towards them. Same way with K9 team. I know both these parties are not cheap. K9, I've been with them since literally March 2021. So that's a good 2 years now. So the price that I pay, I don't think anyone in the market will get that rate ever.
Got it. Did you had some hesitation when they come to you and they said, okay, like we want this much for this? Obviously you had.
Of course.
How did you justify that, yes, I need to pay X amount in order to approach them, or you just approached it as let's try and see?
Everything has risk and reward, right? Either you make something out of it or you try it for a while and you say, okay, you know what, this is not for me. And same way with Asad, I took a risk. Same way I started with K9, I took a risk. And I think everyone in the market uses them today.
Oh yeah, both of them are quite popular. What do you think about long form content right now?
It is important. It gives a different perspective of a person. Whereas when I was initially only focusing on short form, again, like I had taken a big break from the long form content and I had devoted all my time on short form. But then I was like, maybe it's not giving the right image of me as a broker in the market as to how I like to consult clients. So then I went back to Asad. Of course, he was working with a company as a content creator. Then he moved to a broker. And then he got out completely. And that's when I grabbed my opportunity again with Asad. And I sat him down. I was like, listen, buddy, we need to shoot long form content again, because I feel that I have a particular image which I need to put out, but the audience can't see it in short form content. So that's where the serious stuff comes in.
Okay, who posts all this content online?
For YouTube, Asad does it. For TikTok, my other team does it, K9. But for Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, etc., I do it myself.
Is it an element of trust, or you just like to do this because as well it takes lots of time to post it?
It does, but I've been working with these guys for so long. I could give them my.
No,
accounts.
I'm asking why you don't let them post on your Instagram, and why you don't hire somebody to do it.
I mean, we're doing viewings, yes. We're doing meetings, yes. But there's, time in the car when you're driving around. You have a few moments. You wake up in the morning, you have time to post. I try and when I go back home, I put everything in my drafts. So all I have to do is click post without having to put the text and the hashtags and all that stuff. So in the evenings when I'm sitting doing absolutely nothing, this is what I'm actually doing.
Why do you save it in draft? Why don't you post it straight away?
Because every app has a particular time for the audience to be awake.
Okay, got it. So you're waiting for the evening, yeah?
So my audience is mainly awake around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on TikTok, similar time on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But LinkedIn is more like an early morning audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to see the statistics as well as to what time am I posting and what time am I getting the maximum reach.
Mm-hmm. What about paid ads? Not paid ads, paid promotions. Do you use it on your...
Boosting?
Boosting, yes.
So I don't do boosting directly from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I do Facebook Ads Manager for content to market my products. But I only do it mainly for lead generation. I don't do it to get my page a number of views or get a bunch of likes and comments and all that. It's mainly for lead gen.
If you had to start from the scratch right now, would you consider boosting?
I still don't recommend people to do it. It's a waste of money.
Mm.
I was actually sitting with someone for lunch on Sunday at timeout, and he was asking me the same thing. And he's like, buddy, do you think I should continue boosting? I'm boosting my content. I said, there's no requirement. If you can come up with good content that connects with someone, don't boost it. You're wasting your money.
What about collabs that you're doing? I've seen you've done with several guys and girls. How is it going so far?
See, collabs is good for everyone, I feel, and people should have a more of an open mind about it. A lot of people are like, oh, why should I do a collab with him? And oh, why should I do a collab with her? Why should I let my clients see them? And so on and so forth.
Why it doesn't bother you? It's a good point.
I like to keep it open, man. I have my clients who work with me for the longest time. And I think, when you get comfortable with someone, you don't want to move, right?
I agree with you. I as well don't worry about
exactly
reposting something or
exactly. I don't think your clients are gonna come looking at me and be like, hey, can we get something? Or my client's gonna come.
Maybe somebody will, but let it be. It's okay.
I mean, if there's a girl who wants a tall guy, for sure.
Yeah. So overall, your experience with collabs is good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I try to keep an open mind about it. Look, what is gonna come to me is gonna come to me regardless, no matter how much I try to hide someone or something that I'm doing, etc. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there is trust between you and the person you are collabing with, regardless of the property being with them or with you, I think it's okay.
Okay, bro, let's, we'll come back to the social media and content creation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some questions will come up.
Sure.
Let me ask you about your journey through, like, you were agent, apparently with a huge experience. Like, whenever somebody asks me, like, I'm here for 10 years, like, go try to find somebody who has more
no, but come on,
than
you've put your skin in the game, man. You've put your sweat and blood out there. You've taken out time of 10 years of your life doing this.
Yeah.
It's fucking, like, you say it with pride. Come on.
Oh, no, for sure.
For sure.
100%. So what I think will be interesting for guys who are listening to us is to hear your story from transition from agent. Now you run your own business. But before that, I want to ask you, like, to talk about last 3 companies. Let's not dive to 2007. What were your last 3 companies where you used to work?
So I have to name them?
If you want to.
Okay. I worked with Coldwell Banker,
Mm-hmm.
probably in 2017 to late 2018.
17, 18, okay.
Yeah. I moved to Unique after that.
Mm-hmm.
That was my target company that I wanted to get into.
Oh, they were so good back then.
All right.
Always number one in the
Yeah.
market. Like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
So when I was in Coldwell Banker, I always kept watching them. I'm like, man, that's a company I need to get into.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing something right on a level where I would like to reach.
Okay.
And I love the owners of the company. I mean, they will always have my respect, especially Behnam and Armin. I know them personally. They're
And
good
third one
friends.
is Arash.
And third one is Arash. I didn't interact with Arash as much, so I can't comment. But I know Behnam and Armin very well. And then after that, of course, I moved to Provident.
Which year was it?
Provident was in 2021 and I think August.
Mm-hmm.
And until recently, until about August, September last year.
Yeah. And then you open your own company. Let's discuss your transition to Unique.
Okay.
For somebody who wasn't here back then, Unique, like it was something unreachable. They were killing it. Very
They
strong
were
team,
killing it.
and yeah, it was a very 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 good company. So you joined a very strong company. You had some expectations about them. How did it reflect on you as an agent? Like, have you seen that your sales increased?
Oh, for
share your
sure.
experience.
For sure. Yeah. My sales increased a lot. Of course, I've always been able to somehow network like crazy to generate my own clientele. Their leads were good. For some reason, I wasn't able to close too much on the leads.
On the leads.
From the leads. I must have closed maybe like one deal.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Such a good point to discuss. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep on going.
And I mean, look, man, the support was phenomenal. Like I said, I've interacted with the owners on a personal level. I know Behnam was my team leader.
Okay.
So I worked under him, and Behnam was always on me like, buddy, what's going on? You're not closing enough. You're not closing enough. And Armin, obviously, there was one Iranian client one time who did not speak a word of English, but he came through a reference. And Armin was the guy who came in on the floor with me and did the transaction. So in that way, great company. I know a lot of brokers there who close crazy from the leads. But overall, it was a phenomenal company while I worked there.
Okay. So when somebody wants to join a high performing company, they expect to get leads and they expect to get deals out of this.
Sure.
You said that you didn't get that much business, but there was something else that helped you to close small. You just said that manager was on top of you and was trying to push you. Was there anything else beside this?
No, I think I just had the right kind of support. You know, back in the day when you needed approvals from developers to alter or to accept a smaller amount as a token. Excuse me. Of course, the market was different as well. People were okay to take things forward. The management in the developers' offices were also different. You know, back in the day, there was Fawaz and Imar and so on and so forth. So the relationship is what mattered the most. They had that with every single developer.
And this is what helped you, yeah?
This is what helped.
What made you consider an idea to leave Unique? Or it wasn't like about to leave Unique, but it was about to join somebody else?
When I left Unique, it was just post-COVID.
Okay.
And I think it was, I don't know, for some reason, I'm unable to stick with someone for a very long time. So Coldwell Banker, 2 years, Unique Property, 2 years, Provident, 2 years. And I don't know, I mean, when I was with them, full loyalty, hard work, everything towards the company. But I don't know, for some reason, it just kept hitting me every 2 years that I would want to get out and try something else.
Do you think it's something beneficial for the agent? Did it help you or maybe not?
From a company's perspective, I don't know if it helped or not, because at the end of the day, let's be real. For any company, be it a developer or be it an agent, you are still a number.
Of course, yeah, 100%.
Right? You are employee number 0001. But every company has their inner circle, which is the top 10, 15 performing agents, of course. And then you have everybody else.
Yeah.
It takes a while to reach that inner circle for anyone. And it's a lot of struggle to get there. Even with Unique, yes, I was a top performer for, I think, 2 months or so. Same with Coldwell Banker, same with Provident. But after a while, when you've for me at least personally, I've always been continuously be working on my own leads. Like I would go and I would do a lot of networking. I lived for networking. Like there wouldn't be a day I'd be sitting at home doing absolutely nothing, even though I closed 20 million in sales. So that was my main focus, and that is what never kept me in a company for long term. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, look, I have an opinion about this. That it's good to change from time to time companies, because yes, you get to know more people, and you can the more people you know, the more things you can catch from them.
For sure.
Like this and
For
that.
sure.
But 2 years, I'm not sure if it's like. But yeah, it all comes to the personal preferences. If you wish to leave, you leave. How did you approach Unique and told them, guys, I'm leaving?
Very straightforward. I mean, I try to keep a good relationship, whoever I get along with. Same thing with Loai as well from Provident. I mean, I went up to him and I told him, listen, you know what? I'm thinking of moving out. Same way with Benham. I went to him and listen, I want to move out. And he's like,
did you tell him that you're going to Provident?
I hadn't decided at that time where I was
you just
going.
took a break, yeah?
I just said I want to once I left Unique, I think I was without a company for a good 3-4 months.
Oh, I got it.
But Unique was kind enough to leave my visa on so that I could decide where I wanted to move into.
I see. Okay, so you are in the Provident, amazing company as well.
Of course, no doubt about that.
May I ask you, what did you learn through this time while you were in Provident? Maybe something specific that you catch from that company, like, fuck, I'm so grateful that I was there because of this. Maybe it was like some small conversation, some small observation. Or maybe it was even something bad that gave you a lesson. We will not link it to the Provident, just to this time.
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, I have a great relationship with Loy. I'll be honest, you know how my relationship started with him? When I was in Unique, one random person from a marketing agency called me up and he's like, listen, I have a database from Provident and I want to sell it to you and this and that. And I had all that conversation on WhatsApp, and Loai wasn't someone I knew personally, you know, he's on a higher level. First thing I did was I called him up. I'm like, listen, this is what's going on. He's like, share the information, and that's where our relationship started.
Oh, okay.
So it was more like a friendly thing. And then eventually I said, okay, you know what, I'll join you. He's like, yeah, sure, you're welcome. But frankly, till date, I mean, I've only had good experiences. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on TV, but you know how I speak. But they've all been good people to me. You know, whenever I needed support, I needed anything, they were always there.
But still, you decided to open your own company. Every agent has something like this in his mind. What was the point that you crossed and you said, yeah, fuck it, let's do it?
I never really wanted to open my own company because I know the kind of headache and the hassle you have to deal with. But I've also come to learn that if you want to scale your business, you need to have more people because there's only so much you as an individual can do.
So you opened your company to hire other agents, like, so you want a proper company, real estate company. It's not like you opened a company for yourself.
I initially opened the company for myself, that I will do all my transactions from here. But then I had a lot of people approaching me and I wanted to be very selective. I don't want to open 150 agents brokerage firm. I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it clean. People with a similar mindset like mine sell good product, not just sell anything and everything. And slowly, I'm trying to pick 1 or 2 people here and there. The target till the end of the year is not more than 5 to 7 brokers on my team.
So for how long do you have a company now?
October last year.
October last year.
So
How do you
about
feel
5
about
months.
this decision?
It's a lot of work.
Okay, and?
It's a lot of additional work that I don't want to do, but it's more easier. I can experiment. I can try things. I fly out.
Like what?
I fly out to different countries.
What stopped you doing this when you were an agent?
Because it kind of restricts you in terms of, let's say I want to target an audience or a different country, but not very many companies are very game to give you that support. Maybe someone else has a different opinion about that place, but I may have a different opinion about the place. So till date, since August until now, I've visited 4 different cities. 3 of them in India, 1 in Africa. Not every place does well.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So the 3 cities I visited in India, fantastic. But when I went to Africa, it tanked.
How does this visit look like? You come there with the roadshow?
No, so what I do is I do private meetings. I make it a little more exclusive rather than rent a big hall, have 8-10 chairs and tables, build that hype with the clients. Oh, look at how many people are here, try to make a sale.
You definitely need to speak with Daniel. He's doing this stuff.
Who's that?
Daniel.
Garfoli.
Yeah, he's doing this stuff in Europe.
So Daniel's way of working is different, man. He's got that client ready with him always. And this is what I like about him. This is what we did last weekend. We sat together and I understood his module, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. We'll put you guys together. You will... you'll discuss.
He is one of the first guys who inspired me to get onto social. Let's put it that way. He had a workshop back in 2018, I think. And a couple of brokers visited.
Oh, yes, I remember.
It was in Muruj Rotana.
Yeah, DFC. Yeah.
And I give him hats off till date. I mean, he's one of the brokers I respect in the market.
Amazing. Bro, when you were leaving from one company to another company and then you opened your own company, did you had any pending commission in the company?
Yes.
How did you... Like, you know, a lot of agents are stressed about this.
Oh, yeah.
What is the way for an agent to... Okay, what was your view on this? Like, did it stress you or not?
So
how did you approach this topic?
So the first company I worked with, the one that we mentioned earlier, that is where that was the only place I was having a little bit of concern about my commission.
Mm-hmm.
But the other two companies I worked with, I had no issues about my commission. I left it to the owners because I was pretty confident that my relation with them was strong and I could blindly leave the money on the table and I wouldn't have to worry about it. Like Provident, I left in August. I got paid like now because of course the developer delays the commission sometimes.
There is a delay.
So it was okay. I mean, the trust factor is most important more than anything.
Yeah. You said that for the new agent, and I absolutely agree, it's very important to find a company that provides support.
100%.
And you mentioned what kind of support. It's training, it's leads, other stuff as well. How somebody who's new on the market can understand that, yes, this company provides this kind of support. How would you, let's say Zohaib just landed in Dubai. You have money for 3 months and you need to choose the company and you don't have time to waste. How would you approach this research of the company?
Like I said, networking is big. So you have to go out, go to events, your launches especially, where all the brokers of the market come. Meet people from the few companies that you want to shortlist. First, a lot of people don't do research at all. You know that. A lot of brokers come, find the wrong company, they get stuck, and then they're continuously cribbing about it. If you do some thorough research, let's say I come into the market fresh, I want to sell only off plan. And everyone comes to the market wanting to sell off plan, thinking it's easy. So they come into the market, they say, oh, these 3-4 companies are selling off plan, they're doing fantastic. Today, a lot of companies come in today, smash it with a developer, come on the top of the list. Next year, you don't know where they are. So this is the kind of research people need to do and track their records. 5 years.
You and me, we met on the event.
Right.
You know that I'm working in some company.
Right.
Which questions would you ask an agent?
Which questions would I ask an agent? Check their track record, cross-verify what you are telling me. If, let's say I asked you, what company do you work with? Okay, fine. Whatever information you give me about the salaries, about the commissions, or when they pay, what kind of marketing support they have, so on and so forth. Cross-verify that with other people from your company.
Okay, so you mentioned, let's go through the list of the questions once again.
Sure. So first thing is, do you guys have training? If you'll have training, is it good? Training with who? Is it, let's say, I know Dr. Anand.
Mm-hmm.
Does Dr. Anand come for training or XYZ come for training? Fine. What kind of leads do you get? Do only Indians get the leads or only do, I don't know, Europeans get the leads or the Asian population?
Or do you get the leads in general?
Do you get leads in general? What kind of leads do you get? Are they performing leads or are they average leads or are they cold leads from back in the day just reshuffled? A lot of companies shuffle leads too.
Of course.
We know that. It's part of the game. And it's not wrong.
Bro, what you're saying, this is how the business should be run.
Exactly. That's why I said, I clarify, it's not wrong. You never know when a number might wake up.
Yeah, you guys, you cannot get 10 out of the 10 for each of these
Of course.
points.
You can't expect... So look, in our industry, I think the closing ratio is what? 3%?
Are you joking? 3%? I think if it's 0.5, you're a lucky guy.
So anyways, you get the idea.
Depends on the leads, obviously.
Correct. But that is the average ratio, 1 to 3%. And we know that the more people we talk with, the more chances of meetings. The more chances of meetings means the more chances of closures.
Bro, I came to Dubai. I have 1 week. And I don't have time to go in for the cocktails and stuff. And I need to choose the right company.
Okay.
What should I do?
If you don't have time, then that's your problem, man.
Just keep on trying, yeah?
You have to make the time. Come on. I know, I understand your situation. But that's why I tell people, I'm like, listen, you have to spend time. Half the brokers don't even know what they want to do. When they know what they want to do, they end up joining the wrong company. Someone wants to do only resale, they'll go and join a company that doesn't do resale. Some brokers, they want to do only off-plan, they'll go and join a company that is strong in rentals. Because they haven't done enough research.
Where would you advise somebody to go? To which company? Who is strong in off-plan, secondary, rent, commercial?
Depends on what they want to do.
Don't you find that the off-plan is way easier than secondary market now?
No, because interest rates are high. Is that why you're asking me?
No, not because of that. It's just it's easier to structure the deal in the off-plan.
But do you think selling off-plan is easy?
Selling off-plan? Easier than secondary.
Really?
100%.
But in secondary, the product exists, the client exists, they know what they want, you have it.
Okay.
Whereas in off-plan, you're asking someone to visionize the vision that you have into becoming something based on not even something that you are doing. Right? The project is being developed by someone else.
Exactly, yes.
So you are putting your guarantee on the line that this is a good development, they should buy into it. What if tomorrow the developer tanks?
I don't put any guarantee, and if somebody, like we know, like there are 70,
of course not, guarantee is not the right
70%
word.
70% of the people who owns the real estate in Dubai, they don't live here. So while we are sitting here, I can sell an apartment somewhere else in a good development. But for the secondary, people need to go show several apartments, and
of course,
and that's why I think for the new joiners, it's very good to join off-plan. But still, you need to have funds ready because sometimes commission get paid.
Plus, I think more than anything, let's say you sold some projects to some investors. They put their trust in you. Of course, you didn't guarantee anything. Nobody guarantees anything. Yes, we say that from the history and the track record, this developer is good. Based on that, the person trusted my word. He made the transaction. It's great to sell off plan. Everybody wants to sell off plan. 4 years down the line, when the project is handed over, you have no experience in rentals. You have no experience in the secondary market sale because you came in directly with off plan. You're smashing it. What are you going to do then?
Bro, I don't think it's a concern.
I think it's a big concern for a lot of people.
You don't know how to do rental, one deal you know.
Yeah, but then you have to get
how to do this, how to do that. But for the new joiners, in my opinion, first of all, they can make more money because more transactions are happening.
Of course.
You and me, we are working on the off plan.
Of course.
Yes, we are reselling the units that somebody bought from us, but
of course,
our focus is on the off plan.
100%.
And this is where the money is.
Because
right
also that makes sense today. The resale market has gone up already so much.
Oh yeah.
The secondary market has shot up like crazy.
Yeah. Talking about the guarantees. If the client asks Zoheb, okay, I'm buying here an apartment, what kind of profit will I get? What will be your answer?
I try to give conservative numbers. I give very conservative, and a lot of people disagree with me. Even my own wife who works in Shoba, she disagrees with the numbers I give out to my clients. Okay, and every time I'll give out these numbers and she'll be like, what? Are you sure?
So what is this number, conservative number?
Depending on the development, depending on the price we buy it, let's say 10 to 15% upon completion.
Upon completion?
Yes, whatever on top is the cherry. Now, even I know this is being extremely conservative. I know that. But I like to work this way. I work with some...
It's super conservative.
very big families from around the world, from here as well, from India as well. And I like to have them long term. I want them to continue buying with me for the rest of my life. And that is why I keep my numbers at a rock bottom.
What would you say if this client will tell, like, look, somebody else told me that I can make 15% a year in another project. And they showed to me that, yeah, like they have reached these numbers, etc., etc., etc. So technically you're losing the deal. You're losing the deal not because somebody overpromised. It's not like 50% a year, but kind of reasonable numbers. What would you do? What would you do in this case?
Again, if I think that those numbers make sense, and then I could say, okay, yeah, if I have to not be conservative, then yeah, of course you can reach maybe halfway or probably the same level. But if I don't know the development too well, like there are certain developers I don't work with.
Let's talk about good developments.
Yeah, good developments, then yes, of course, there's a possibility to reach that, no doubt.
Okay, so you'll tell them, yes, it's possible.
Not necessarily just to get the deal. If I feel that, yes, it is possible, looking at history and looking at how things have performed in the past, if it makes sense, I'll probably up my buffer from 15% to maybe 20, 30%. But I still won't agree with that whole 50%. And it could be possible. I know that.
It is possible.
Exactly.
I'm selling right now. It's not from the original price.
Look at beachfront, for example. It's doubled in value.
Bro, you remember how difficult it was to sell beachfront?
I know.
Fucking hell.
At 1.2, nobody wants to buy anything.
Nobody, 1.2 for the one bed. But you know what? We were not very convincing as well. And we can go through the Blue Waters. We can go through.
No, exactly.
GBR.
I was about to say the same thing for the next one was Blue Waters. I remember at 1.9 million for a one bed, 5-year post handover, clients would come and tell me, "Are you stupid?" I'm like, bro, calculate the number of units, the number of buildings, what you have behind you, which is Caesar's Palace, and you have Ain Dubai on the other side, super exclusive island, private beach, blah, blah, blah.
Bro, honestly speaking, when Blue Waters came up, I didn't sell. I wasn't selling it because I thought back then that it's super expensive.
Everybody thought it was super expensive.
But you just told me that like this.
Yes,
this and
but
that.
it made sense to me at the time because I was looking at the number of units.
It made sense to you.
Yes, a lot of my clients bought and a lot of my clients didn't buy.
There are like Blue Waters is an example which sometimes put me on the ground where I'm saying to myself, Dennis, you was wrong because everybody's saying like, oh, I know the market.
Sometimes you can be wrong.
So Blue Waters and Address GBR when it was available for sale,
oh man,
it was so expensive compared to other projects.
Man. Don't bring up Address JVR.
You know, recently there was a transaction for 4 million for one bed in Address GBR facing
Marina,
the factory. You know, not Marina, factory, brother. What happened with
even
the prices?
Blue Waters is at 4 million for a one bed.
Yeah, but yeah.
With no view.
Yeah, so the prices are
definitely gone up. I mean, look, we can't always be right. Okay, if our client made more money than we expected, fantastic. He'll take you on the yacht.
Yeah. So you have quite low expectations for your clients. Was it always like that, or you learned some lesson? You went through some stressful relationship with the clients?
No, I think from day one, I've just been very conservative in terms of numbers. And till date, whatever I have managed to sell to whoever in the locations that I work with, currently we're all trading a little upwards of 20, 30, 40%.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm good over there.
Yeah,
I haven't had anyone come at me with a gun.
Yeah, I was curious to hear how you manage clients' expectations. But yeah, if you're saying 15%, that's fine. What about the exit strategy? When they tell you when is the earliest I can sell the project? What will be your answer to this?
I always tell them to let the project reach its prime is when it's completed. But of course, we try to target units in every particular development that we select that have some premium to it. Like for example, 2018, early days.
Mm-hmm.
Early days of my shifting into off-plan. A young couple came to me and They were looking at a 1-bed in Burj Royal.
Okay.
1.5, I think, was the price point. Nice payment plan and everything. I picked up a 2-bed in the front of the building, not too high, right in the center. And I told him, listen, you can buy the 1-bed at 1.5 and it'll probably go up to 1.6, 1.7. But I feel the 2-bedroom in the front could have better scope because you have Fountain, Burj Khalifa, and Dubai Mall all in front of
And
you.
open view.
And the entire apartment sits on the front. So your bedrooms as well as your living is in the front. The size is not all that great, but people living in downtown don't really care. Right? So at this moment, he thought about it. He did his maths. He said, okay, I'm going to go back and come back to you in a day or two. He came back and he picked up that 2-bedroom at 2 million.
That was what?
You know the price.
Tell me.
3.4.
3.4.
On the table.
Yeah, incredible.
And that was about a month ago. He was looking for one more property for himself. This will probably be his 4th unit that he's buying with me. And he asked me, he's like, if I were to consider something big, I have to sell Burj Royal. And I was like, no, don't sell it. Wait. Let the building get handed over. Let people start moving in. Let there be footfall. And let people see the view from the apartment in this tower. And I think that's when it will probably gain a little more 10-20% on top of that.
Let's discuss several cases. Somebody
Okay.
comes to you, he has 1 million dirham to invest. What would you recommend him? He's buying for investment purpose.
Today,
Yes.
nothing.
Okay. He needs to wait for something specific or...
What is decent in today's market, in your opinion? Please tell me for 1 million dirhams. And I'm not saying this to challenge you or anything.
No.
I
it's
want
good-
to learn
it's good
from you as
discussion.
well.
It's good
Yeah.
discussion, yeah. Well, I will check if it's something to buy for the long term. It's one thing. If it's for the short term, it's a little bit difficult because 1 million property you cannot flip. If we're talking about like 1-beds or stuff. But you will be surprised there is a good development in Dubai Hills. It's not built by Imar,
I know who you're talking about.
and I'm sending usually clients there. Why you think that there is nothing good for 1 million?
I mean, see, select areas have good scope. Like you mentioned, Dubai Hills has good scope. I don't think it has phenomenal scope, but it has decent scope. Properties have performed well in the past compared to today.
What do you do with such client?
I try to do what you did. Send them to Dubai Hills. But it's difficult to find good product today in that price range. You know that.
It is difficult. It is
It is
difficult,
very
yeah.
difficult.
Let's move to the 2 million.
2 million. A good developer is Ellington.
Okay.
They have some good products. Shoba is another decent developer. If you're able to
His
find...
wife is working there.
My
so-
wife works at Shoba, that's why. If you'll need to contact her, number is below. But no, even I feel your Creek Harbor has good scope, but it's more of a longer term project, in my opinion, because there is...
Okay, you mentioned several developers. Let's imagine I'm your client. I have 2 million. What will be on the first place? Which project?
Probably-
Ellington doesn't have to sell anything right now, isn't it?
They do have projects in Heartland.
So you like them?
Ellington has good quality product. I just don't like the fact that they build individual buildings.
Not communities.
I'm more of a guy who's more lean towards community lifestyle.
Okay, so 2 million, Ellington.
Ellington Shoba.
Ellington Shoba. 3 million?
3 million target townhouses, man. Damak.
Which communities?
Damak, the Fields, Villano. Ranches 3 is pretty decent. Ranches 3 is coming up pretty well. In that area, currently, you may see a lot of empty plots for like land banks. But that area, I feel, is coming up pretty well. You have already a huge supermarket come in. You have Global Village. You have Villanova on the other side. You have Ranches 3 on one side. You also have, did I mention Global Village already?
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, the highway, which has already come up there. So I think that area has got good scope.
Got it. Before we will move to the questions from our viewers, I have one last question. I've
Please.
noticed you have not last, one of the last.
Please go for it.
Something
as
will
many
come
as
up
you
as
like.
well. I noticed that you have a quite decent collection of watches. Do you feel that it reflects somehow on your meetings while you meet the clients? Uh, did anything changed while you start like wearing them? And by the way, what is the value of your collection right now? Your wife is not watching.
I'm sure she is. If she's back home from work, she probably is. Watches was something that clicked with me probably in the early days, probably like when I was 18, 19, 20.
Mhm.
I was just attracted to them. I never started buying watches because I wanted to impress someone.
Mhm.
It was just something I liked.
Mhm.
I am a part of a few clubs
Mhm.
that focus on watches, like watch clubs.
Interesting. Mhm.
And
Do you get clients from there, from these clubs?
not as of yet. But I think we try to keep business out of the club. You know, it's very
Got it.
watch focused. Everyone just wants to come, chit chat, have a couple of drinks or a coffee, talk about watches, and so on and so forth. But it's just been something that's attracted me for many, many years. And slowly, I just kept growing my collection over time.
Oh,
Your question, sorry. No, it doesn't make any difference sitting with a client. Because there are times I sit with clients who have absolutely nothing on their wrist, but they could probably buy towers.
that's for sure. But did anybody comment on something like, "Oh, like nice watches"? or
Oh, a lot of
something?
times.
So don't you think it's somehow influenced their like decision to work with? Oh yeah, that guy looks like he knows his stuff.
But I mean, that's the same that could be said about an agent who pulls up in a G-Wagon or an agent who pulls up in a Lamborghini.
Let's discuss this.
Sure.
Is the good car important for the agent?
I mean, it depends on the kind of clients you move around with, right? If you have this bunch of clients that you know have the kind of money, they don't want to roam around with you in a Camry, right?
For sure, yeah.
You want to have a fairly decent car. My car isn't something super fancy. I drive an E200.
Mhm.
I don't care about the car. But it's important that I have a fairly decent car because when these clients sit with me, they don't feel like they're sitting in a cab or, sorry to put it that way, but in a Camry or a Corolla or something. Not that it makes any difference. If you can give your client what they need and guide them in the right manner, they'll sit in any car. But it's also good that, I pull up in a decent
Bro,
car.
like I can share my experience with that.
Please.
I was never like interested of like fancy about the cars because I was thinking, yeah, I'm good enough. Like once we meet, I'll explain what I know, etc., 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 and everything will go well. But since I got a quite interesting car, I realized that an agent definitely should drive a good car, and we should treat it as a marketing expense
Of course.
rather than there is an advice like in the internet, oh, don't buy fancy cars, don't overspend. I think for the agent it's important to have a very nice car. And even I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He works in Unique, Jaro. Hi. And we compared a purchase of the car or purchase of, let's say, a studio. Let's say you have 500,000. Yeah, you managed to get this money. Yeah, and God bless you if a new agent now has it, and now he's choosing where he can spend it. And by the way, he was mentored by one of the owners of Unique, and he said, "Look, you can buy a studio, you will get this 10% return.
Yeah.
But if you buy a car, one deal will cover your expenses, even if it's one deal, will cover your will make you more money than 1 year of rental of a studio, because we are in our industry where one deal can change a lot.
Sure.
And for sure, car will bring you way more business than a decent
It is important in
studio.
a way,
So
yes.
yeah, for the agents, it's good to have decent cars. Guys, I've opened our chat. Right now, you have a chance to answer some of the questions. to the help, please write them in the chat, and I will read them
Oh,
aloud.
live questions?
Live questions, brother.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Everything is serious.
Where's my
here.
shot of tequila?
And we had some. Oh, wait a second. I already have it.
I hope it wasn't too boring for the audience.
Bro, we didn't finish yet.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Question from the agent.
Okay.
How to convince a client to work with me when he says that he already has a real estate agent?
Rather than trying to convince him to work with you, just throw value at him. I had a very old friend from school. This is a live example. And from a very wealthy family. And he used to work with an agent I used to know. I just kept giving value on my content. And he would watch my content every single day. This went on for 4 months. He bought a couple of units with somebody, and then he saw that I'm giving value and I'm showcasing something. And I'm giving value and I'm showcasing something. And every time I showcase something, he'd reach out. Hey, buddy, what's the price on this one? And I'd be like, X. And he'd be like, oh, too expensive, too expensive. Then he'd watch my value videos, find another product that he liked on my page. Like, bro, how much is this one? I give him the price. Bro, too expensive. Third time, the same thing. Fourth time, the same thing. One fine day, he calls me up. He's like, buddy, you seem to talk a lot. You seem to know what you're talking about. Can we meet? I want to buy a house. I said, okay, fine, we meet. Late in the night, I'm talking, we went to school together, but I never approached him to be a prospect. He approached me, and then we went out at around 11 o'clock at night. We hadn't met each other for years. Went around for a cup of coffee, showed him a community, showed him the product that I liked. Right away, he's like, buddy, should I book 10 units? And I was like, buddy, didn't you say you wanted to buy one house?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say is that I gave value without even expecting anything in return. I gave value for free.
Okay, did you feed him this content, or he was just subscribed to you?
He was just following my content.
Okay, let's take a case where I'm calling you Zoheb. I know that you're a smart guy. I'm a client. I've seen you online. I want to buy a 2-bedroom in Creek Harbor. I'm about to put the deposit. I've seen several apartments there. What do you think?
What do I think about what? Creek Harbor?
Yeah, the client asks you, like, he's saying, like, I'm ready to proceed. You have clear idea that he is working with somebody else, and he's. I mean, I can't say like honest enough, because like being on the social media, I had a lot of clients who just ask you for the opinion, and who some of them already made a decision, they bought already, and they act like they're buyers. Just guys, be ready for this. So yeah, he comes to you, and he says something in this line that Zoheb, I've checked several projects. I really like 2-bedroom in Creek Harbor, this and that tower. I've seen the project,
layout, price, everything.
I've seen everything. Yeah, I want to book it. What do you think about it?
Yeah, if you find the right unit, go for it.
You will not try to convince the client to go with you or something?
Like I said, I give out value. I share my profile with them. I let them study it.
Done. I called you because of this, but I have already.
Maybe someone doesn't like the way I talk. Maybe someone doesn't like my face. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the client saw what you are doing. He's seen your efforts, your hard work, your research, your time, everything. But if he has mentally decided that he doesn't want to work with you, there's probably nothing more you can do. Please disagree with me if you do. I could try to approach him and tell him that, you know what, hey, I could assist you, and this is what I offer as a package to the clients that book with me. You don't pay me a fees. I take care of all your headache, your documentation, registration, blah, 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 handover, snagging. You know I do all that.
I don't know.
Oh, really? I have a snagging video as well. I'll be doing a lot more because handovers are coming up. So I do all of that. I offer a package deal to my clients.
Okay, how would you try to convert him to work with you? I'm calling you, I'm ready. You cannot say, yes, it's a good project, go buy it. Okay, you can. But let's say You didn't close the deal for some reason for 2 months.
Like I said, I'd put us all on the table that I offer so, and so. You don't need to be
So
here
you will
ever.
say, Mr. Client, it's a good project.
It's a great development. The most important thing is selecting the kind of unit, because that's what makes the biggest difference. The competition that you will have to face with the number of units that you are selecting. Let's say you select a particular 2-bed. How many types of the 2-bed are in that building? What is the view on the 2 beds? Or is a 3-bed a better option, or a 1-bed is a better option? Whatever it may be.
So you make him guess like, oh, is it like...
Because it's important that he picks the right unit.
Okay, and after that you invite him for like...
I do it in
Let's just brainstorm, because guys are facing such issues.
I do it in such a manner that it's not me who's asking them to come and see me, to let me come and see them. I try to portray it in such a manner where I know what I'm doing. If you would like my services, this is what I have to offer. I pick a building and I see how many 2 beds are there, how many 1 beds are there, how many 3 beds are there. Because at the end of the day, that is my competition. As an investor, I have to sell it, I have to rent it. How many units am I competing with? So I offer him the entire package. I tell him this is what I do, this is what my expertise is. And based on that, I try to convince him into having him call me for a cup of coffee, rather than me calling him for a cup of coffee. Because then I am in command.
Yeah.
If I tell him that, hey, let's meet up for a cup of coffee, I'll tell you da-da-da-da-da, he's going to be, I'm not interested, man. I already have an agent I work with. Does that make sense?
Definitely. I want to ask you about your follow-up system, if there is any.
It's horrible. Horrible. My follow-up is pathetic.
Do you use some markers in the WhatsApp? Do you use some templates over there? I can tell you what I was doing when I had when I was producing content.
Please.
I had a broadcast group.
Yes.
And different ones. Like some of them are hot clients, some of them are very important clients. Like don't send them some random stuff. Let's put it this way. And some of them who said no, but maybe they will come back.
But we'd like to be kept informed.
Yeah. So with the long format, it's easier because like, hey, take a look at YouTube video, and you send them the broadcast. So this was something that was helping me to stay in touch with them. And by the way, there is a very important thing that I recently realized, that when we talk about content marketing, it's not only about generating new leads. It's nourishing the existing ones. And it's as well something that I don't do, but I need to do it more often, is that once you finish the conversation with the client and he said like, seems like I'm not interested in this, sure, no problem. By the way, here is my link to Instagram. I'm showing there some good hot projects. Just subscribe.
If you wish to follow, please,
yeah. So like if I was doing this, it will definitely bring me a few more deals through the year. So yeah, we can use the content to follow up. Otherwise, any strategies that you can recommend?
Like you said, the broadcast list is something that even I utilize a lot.
How many broadcast groups do you have? 2?
Transacted and still interested.
What do you send to Transacted?
The projects that I put up on my social. Not every day, maybe twice a week.
How often it brings you more business?
Every once in a while. Maybe once every 2-3 months. Somebody will be like, oh, this looks interesting. Oh, I've been following your page for a while. Thanks for sending me this, but I liked something else that you had showcased earlier. And so on and so forth. And the second list is mainly cold, but keep us informed. Something on those lines.
I have a question from my side. I think it will be useful for the guys. Let's say there is a guy or girl who is super hardworking, doing a lot of calls, knowing the projects very well, but by some reason something is not clicking. What would you advise them to change, to evaluate, re-evaluate, and in general your advice to them?
You can't just rely on calling. When I transferred from, or when I whatever the word is, when I moved from the resale market back in 2017 to off-plan, the biggest mistake I made was I relied only on cold calling.
Bro, back then it was different. We were calling through the databases. It was a disaster.
Exactly. So that's the biggest mistake I made. So it took me 9 months to do my first transaction from cold calling. I would start at 8 a.m. and I'd leave my office by 5, 6 p.m., take my burner phone with me, go to a bar, open up my laptop, pour a beer, start calling people until about 9 o'clock at night. And I did that for 9 months straight without doing any business. That was my first time I retransacted back into the off-plan market. That was the biggest mistake I made, that I relied only on cold calling and I didn't do networking.
Let's remove cold calling. Let's say they're receiving leads.
If they're receiving
guys, if you're
leads.
doing cold calling right now, it's
illegal.
It's big time bullshit. Forget about this tactics to find the client. If somebody doesn't know what is the cold calling is and what we were doing, like we had a database of the owners of the apartments and we were calling them, Mr. Ahmed, you own the property in Imar, would you like to buy another one? And everybody was telling us to get lost in a kind of way. So yeah, if you guys doing cold call, it's a bullshit. But let's say they're receiving leads and they're calling a lot and they know the product, but you know such guys, yeah. And something is not clicking. What would be your advice for that to them?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't remember the last time I did a few cold calls or even lead calls. But try to generate more leads. I don't know. What would you tell them? I don't have an answer for that, to be very honest.
Well, I would tell them to... Well, first of all, I would tell them to take a look at the company where they're working, if somebody is closing or not.
And they aren't.
And yeah, if somebody is closing, they are not closing. It's good to take a look on their mindset, if they are positive or they are negative. But a lot of people are joining with the positive mindset, but then they're shifting to the negative.
And it doesn't take too long.
It doesn't take too long, and it's difficult to keep on going with the positive. And if these two things are okay, then I would take a look at the leads. And I've been a witness of some of the guys and girls who were doing a lot of work, but there was no result, and they changed the company, even though the company was good. In different companies, I'm not saying specific one. So they changed the company and bam, close 5 deals in the first month. So I would approach it in this way: check the company if somebody's closing or not. Check your mindset, check the leads, and maybe change the company.
And it's not easy to keep a positive mindset, especially if you've been grinding for 3, 4, 5 months straight and nothing closing.
Bro, I know this pain.
I know.
I entered Corona with a very terrible financial situation. Okay. There is a question: advice for an average agents how to get into the tops and close floors. Did you have deals for the floors?
I did more on bulk deals where I would shortlist units rather than just sell a floor.
Okay, let's discuss your bulk deal. Where it happened?
I did some in Ranches 3.
How many units?
10 units.
Like 30 million?
Bliss 1.
What is the value of the...
That was around 27.
27, yeah. So tell us about this deal. How it happened. The client asked you for this. You approached the client, offered this.
So this is one of my regular buyers. He's bought some product with me before. And I pitched him the idea of this one. And it kind of made sense because the price per square foot at that time was attractive.
How did you pitch it? Did you pitch it as a package, or you pitched him 1 unit?
No, I pitched it to him as 5 units together.
Why it came to your mind that let me pitch it 5 units?
Because we were trying to... This guy likes to pick up in bulk.
So you know his appetite.
He is one of those bulk guys. And I've... with all my clients, I try to handpick the units that I like. Same goes with buildings that I shortlist units in. Same goes in townhouse communities and so on. Same thing. We had bought in a different community earlier, a few units. And he liked this particular community as well. And so did I. And I pitched it to him and he picked up a few over there as well. I basically tried to combine them together, thinking that, okay, if I buy it at this price, say 3 years down the line with my conservative growth of 15% appreciation, looking at the trending rents in the neighboring areas, this is what kind of makes sense. So you know what? Put it out on a sheet, share the numbers with him. He's a numbers guy. And it kind of made sense to him. He did discount a little bit.
Let's discuss the numbers that he put in that presentation. What kind of numbers was that?
Rental return of 6.5-7%.
How did you evaluate this number?
Looking at the surrounding areas, of course, I'm talking early 2020s.
Yeah, so Arabian Rancher Street, what is there to compare?
At that time, there was Villanova on the other side, La Rosa.
Was it handed over?
No, of course not.
Yeah, so how did you come up
There
with
was the
rental?
villa project on one side,
Mhm.
which is obviously bigger size villas.
I love that community, by the way.
I don't like it.
Huge villas, nice.
Very huge villas. Then
nice
further down the
terraces.
road, you have Damak Hills. You have Tilal Al Gaf, not handed over. You have lagoons coming up. But Damak Hills was the only ready community at that time.
Okay, so you put it in the presentation and you said like in the neighboring community, this is the rent.
Correct. And this is what is expected because of the few things that are going to be coming up in the surrounding area. Like I said, you already have a mall coming up there. You're about 20 minutes to the Dubai city, 20 minutes to Marina, JBR, etc.
How 5 townhouses became 10?
He has an appetite.
Okay, so bro, you got lucky.
But that's not the only development he's bought in Balkid. He's bought in other developments as well.
Mhm.
He's also bought certain land parcels with me, which Lamer, the islands.
What does it mean?
I think we need to wrap it up.
Guys, we're about to finish this.
Mhm.
We can roll for another hour
Another
easily,
time.
but they're showing that guys go.
We need to get
that
out,
we
yeah.
need to leave Vitaly's bedroom. One second. They keep on sending me.
Get out notice. Time's up.
Yeah. They send me on Telegram the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, as we are using like really as the platform who created this podcast,
Yes.
what do you know about the project? What do you think about it? Generally, your opinion. Maybe there is something you want to discuss as I'm an ambassador.
No, I like the concept of the project itself. I like that we're putting all the developers onto one platform, which eventually will make life easy for everyone. Currently, I have to open up every single app, log into it, create a sales offer, and send it across. But if the way really is going, adding everything onto one platform, for sure, will make life a lot more easier. Hopefully, all the developers get onto it and make it happen as soon as possible. I think it's important today because we move in such a fast-paced world where today the sales offers don't have my number on it, right? Today the sales offers just have the details, price, square foot, payment plan, terms and conditions, the end. But if my contact number is on there and if that client wants to share it with his friend, even that guy's going to see my number. So that is an added plus. And I think really does that for you, right? Really adds your contact details. That makes that sales offer my sales offer.
Yeah. Well, there are so many things to be developed there and make our life easier. And once I get to know about the platform, I fell in love with it. Like, fuck, I have this pain.
No, I love it. I use it not as actively because a lot of my clients, I'm like on the phone, yeah, I'll send you the sales offer and I know what to go. But I know over time, a lot of people will start using it because it gives the client the image that this is my sales offer. And I think it makes an impact.
Yeah.
The more people he shares it with, because his circle is the same kind of people like him who have that kind of money. So the more people see it, the more chances of more people reaching out to me too.
Bro, in the end, let's think about some present to the guys who will share this podcast or part of it on your stories. And guys, you need to tag Really and you need to tag Zohab. If you want, you can tag me as well. And is there anything that you can give them as a small prize? Doesn't have to be anything. Just to give you an example, last time I gave a presentation of that I used to sell. I had a big sale of a building and I put as well the presentation. I sent it to them. Maybe you can give something that is related to work with the social media, or I don't know, something comes up to your mind, or
If they share it along with other people?
no, they will not share it. Like
Oh. No,
uh,
like this, the session, you mean?
not the session. They'll just film the Zoom that we are watching
Ah,
Zoheb
okay.
on the podcast. Oh, you know what? It will be quite a big present for them if you'll share on your social media.
I share everyone's videos, man.
It's already a big prize, and guys, I think Zoheb have shared so many things with you today. So it will be a pleasure if I would be a viewer just to say thank you to Zoheb
No,
for
thanks to
sharing
you guys,
his knowledge and expertise with us. I think on this we will wrap it up, brother.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
We need to do it more often.
100%.
And there are so many things to discuss.
I know, I think it would continue forever.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this podcast.
Thank you.
We will wait for your feedback on Instagram. Don't forget to tag really Zoheb, and if you want me. And we will keep on coming back with the podcast and workshops. Thank you.
Thank you.